Hey guys, this is Chris again, coming at you with another video. Quick wristwatch check. I am wearing that Glycine, that Combat sub, the Golden Eye that Dane lent in. Still loving this piece, getting as much more time as I can with this. I'm still contemplating buying this, by the way. But today's video is a little bit different. It's almost like a comparison, kind of contrast video of what our opinions were two of the most overhyped watches of 2019, in my opinion. And overhyped, I don't know, is a strong word. They are really well received by the watch community. I feel like Timex is doing really good things, and they're making good on. They're basically bringing back that vintage vibe with kind of a modern retro twist to two watches that you can't really get a hold of if you can't really get a hold of the Rolex. Now, this isn't, by no means, they are not Rolex, but they have the Rolex looks. And one is, of course, the Timex Pepsi, the Q. And it comes in about $180 is what I got it for off of Long Island. And the other one is the Batman, that is my buddy Bobby's, and those retail for about $279. Now, when they're sold out, just like right now, I saw Batman on eBay, I believe, for around $1,100. Don't buy it at that price, guys. Just be patient like I was with the Timex Pepsi Q and mark over Long Island and happened to have one in stock again, so I pulled the trigger. At about $180, $200 price range, they are really, really great bang for buck watch. And either one is, this video is kind of subjective because either one is whatever your personal opinion, whatever, you know, that aesthetic wise, whatever appeals more to you, that's what you like. Whether you like the Batman better or you like the Pepsi better, just like with the Rolex people, they either like the Batman Rolex or they like the Pepsi Rolex better. Personally, I like the Pepsi, and I kind of wish they would make an automatic version of the Pepsi. And that's not knocking the Quartz. I feel like this is a perfect grab-and-go watch. I wear it to work a lot. Like I said, perfect grab-and-go watch. It's a pretty killer watch. It actually gets a lot of compliments. And with the style, the acrylic crystal adds to that kind of vintage retro vibe on both of them. And like I said, they both have their pluses and minuses. And I'll go show you guys here on the desktop what they look like side by side, size comparison, everything like that. Just like I said, these were two of the most overhyped watches, in my opinion, in 2019. And they are still somewhat hyped, and they do have their pluses and minuses. And again, I'll go over that here on the desktop here. But like I said, I just wanted to show you guys a quick comparison video before me rambling on again. But let's go to the desktop, and I'll show you what they look like close side by side. Here is what they look like side by side. Of course, the main difference you can see is the case size. The Timex Q over here on the right, the Pepsi is smaller at 38 millimeters, and the M79 Batman is a little bit larger at 40 millimeters. And you could definitely tell the difference. A lot of people say this was the same case, they just largened it or enlarged it on the Batman. I don't feel like it is. Maybe it was the same rendering, but I feel like Timex would do better than that. And again, these both have that kind of retro 70s kind of vibe. And of course, they are some kind of similar homages to the Rolex brethren. But there's nothing wrong with that. They have Timex on it. And again, this is just subjective on whether you like the automatic version or you like the quartz version. Personally, I like the quartz version. I used to be a guy that prefers automatic over quartz, but I do like the quartz version. And I do actually like the automatic version. I say if you have the funds and both are available and you can swing both are a great addition to any collection. Like I said, this is a great everyday wear piece. Fun piece to wear. It has enough water resistance that you don't have to worry about it too much. And again, about the only negatives on these are the acrylic crystals. But I feel like that adds to the vintage kind of vibe, the vintage look they're going for, that Timex is going for. The one plus that this one has, of course, is the bidirectional bezel. Being a true GMT, or not a true GMT, but being a GMT, has that bidirectional bezel. Whereas the M79, at the more expensive price, does not. But again, this is my first experience with the Batman, and I really dig the Batman look on here. And the bezel action is pretty good. This has enough water resistance. This does come at $280. With that Miyota movement, you can't really beat it, especially for that price. Like I said, This is really more of a subjective video. If you can swing both, definitely add both. I may end up adding this to my collection at some point. But it also, this one actually wears a little bit better, believe it or not, on my wrist anyways, than this one does. And I'll show you what both of them look like on my wrist. Like I said, they both have their pluses and minuses. Like I said, this one definitely is cooler with the bidirectional bezel, being a GMT. But the Batman does look pretty cool. Like I said, this is my first impressions of a Batman style watch. Both of these are 18mm lugs, and they are both hair pullers, but you get used to that. And again, on the case backs, on the left, on the M79 over here, you can see that Miota movement in the case back, which is kind of cool, especially for somebody if this is when their first series watch, their first automatic watch. It's kind of cool to see that. This has that easy to replace battery here, so that's pretty easy to do. You just throw a, put a penny or something under it, replace it. But again, like I said, you can see that automatic movement, the Miota movement, which I think is pretty cool that Timex did that. Like I said, if this is your first watch, this could be also a pretty cool watch for like a high school student, something like that, somebody that's just getting into watches. And that would definitely be cool to see. If you're, like I said, if it's your first automatic, your first real watch, I suppose. But again, you can't go wrong with the quartz movement. This is a great grab and go piece. And as you can see, they both have that red second hand, but this one is a little more pronounced on the Batman. Kind of goes better with that black dial. Again, like I said, the acrylic crystal, I feel like are kind of in place here with the domed. You can see the Timex Q is a little bit thinner, so it wears a little bit smaller on the wrist. Both bracelets taper down. Give it both of them pretty comfortable feel on the wrist. And again, you can see the case size on both of these. You can definitely see the difference on the 38mm. Let me take off the combat sub. Look for a duel with the combat sub really soon, by the way, with my Zen 104. And here is what the Timex M79 looks like on my 7.5-inch wrist. I feel like this one fits me perfect. That's why I wish this one was 40mm and automatic. That would be almost perfect watch. So if you have a little bit bigger wrist like myself, the 40mm on the M79 might be the way to go if you're torn between the two. And you can still also pull off that 38mm. Like I said, I wear this one all the time, especially to work and everything. So it's got a little bit of scratches. Don't be afraid to wear these guys. These aren't going to be overly collectible watches, I don't think, because they made so many of them. I know they sell out quick, but they made thousands of these guys. And here's what the 38mm kind of hugs my wrist. A little bit smaller, but I do kind of dig it. Like I said, I do feel like this Batman wears a little bit better on my wrist. So if you have a smaller wrist, the 38mm would probably be the way to go. Overall, for these two watches, I would definitely recommend these in any collection, whether you have higher end pieces. You know, you're just looking for like a grab and go with the quartz, or you're just looking for like a fun kind of wild card piece with a Batman, and you're tired of the Rolex games. Because, as you know, the Rolex versions are really hard to get right now. Near impossible to get almost. You just want something kind of fun. You don't really have to worry about if you get a scratch here or there. Or if you just want a beater watch for your Rolex. But still maintain that look, and you don't want to beat up if you were lucky enough to get a GMT. Either a Batgirl or the Pepsi version. And you still want that look. This definitely has that modern feel with a vintage vibe towards it. These are definitely the way to go. And with both of these coming in together, I believe it would end up being around $500-600. If you have the funds to get both, I would say go for both. And again, you can see the difference in the case size. The Pepsi here on the right is a little bit thinner, of course. And you can see the Pepsi also does not have the sliding ground like this one does. The Batman. The Batman is a little bit more domed. overall, like I said, I definitely recommend both these watches if you can. But anyways, guys, let me know which one you prefer. Do you prefer the Batman over here on the left, or do you prefer the Pepsi? Or would you get both, or do you have both? Let me know down in the comments, guys. What do you guys think about both these? And if you haven't, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.